Hi everybody, today I'm very excited to take a look with you at my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, my collection for my absolute favorite movie of his. Arnold is someone who is definitely one of the largest collections that I have as far as an individual actor, definitely in the top 5 or 6 as far as the size of the collection, different movies of his and different versions of them. But Total Recall has always been my absolute favorite. It is, for me, his best movie. It really combines every element of Arnold Schwarzenegger that I enjoy into one movie at its top form. The Paul Verhoeven movie, Total Recall, fantastic. To me, it is one of the best 80s to early 90s sci-fi movies ever made. I really enjoyed that era of sci-fi in particular, especially sci-fi, more action-driven sci-fi, and Total Recall is one of the best from that time period. It is, I think, Arnold's best movie. He's someone where you take a movie like Conan the Barbarian versus something like Twins or even Kindergarten Cop, and they all have different variations of his comedic timing, and he's great with not just one-liners in action movies. He does have decent comedic timing, great sense of humor, great sense of satire, and a great sense of sarcasm, and he's great facial expressions, even in some of his considered to be slightly lesser comedies, something like Jingle All the Way. He's hilarious. He's fantastic through that. And then you have his more serious, action-driven moments in like Conan the Barbarian or Terminator, and he really does both very well. And my favorite movies of his are ones where they combines a little bit more of that. You have ones like Kindergarten Cop or Commando, which have a little bit more of a variation in there. But to me, Total Recall has some of Arnold's best action movie moments. It has some of his best, comedic moments, some of his best character moments. For me, overall, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger at his absolute best, in his absolute prime. It's Arnold at his best, and it is some of Jerry Goldsmith's best music, I think. Overall, it's one of my favorite scores of his. It's easily in the top 10 for what he's worked on. I just absolutely love how much it helps to sell this movie. It really takes the We'll Remember It For You wholesale short story and makes it its own thing. It uses that as its premise to start and build off and become its own fantastic experience. A great sci-fi movie, amazing creative set pieces and special effects and interesting characters. You remember even some of the most kind of side characters that you might not even remember their names until you see them in the credit, but they leave an impact because there's something visually about the movie that is just so creative and fun and exciting, and it's just a genuinely good sci-fi movie. It's thought-provoking. It's one of those movies that has you leave the theaters and discussing with everyone, kind of the way later on something like The Matrix, whether you like that movie or not, it's become a huge part of popular culture, and part of it is, the red pill, blue pill, got people thinking about certain things that maybe they hadn't thought of before. Total Recall is the same way, with whether or not it was real, whether or not he just was. Was this really happening? Did he leave, or was he just in the Total Recall? Was he just was it a dream? What is it? Has he been lobotomized? What is going on? And you can argue about it all day long with different people with different interpretations of the movie. Overall, I absolutely love it. I'll never be tired of this movie. I've seen it so many times. It's always fascinating. It's just such a great experience, and I think it is the best Arnold movie by far, the one that is my favorite. So we have the widescreen LaserDisc edition, which is my favorite version of the movie to have in my collection. The first way that I ever saw the movie, though, was on VHS. And one of the first DVDs that I ever owned, this 2001 special edition of Total Recall on regular old DVD. I watched that version probably the most over the years, because that was one of the, I'd say maybe first dozen or so DVDs that I got back in the day, and I had watched them over and over again. That I had Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Rush Hour was the first one I ever picked up, like The Matrix. There were just a handful of movies that I watched over and over and over again when DVD was first out, when around 2000, 2002 or so. I just had those few movies, and that was one of them that I watched over and over again. And then it's also in these Arnold packs I showed off before with the Terminator movies. I really like this 6-movie collection. Also has it on DVD and Blu-ray. And then last but certainly not least, probably overall now my second favorite copy of the movie that I own, I have the European Total Recall on HD DVD. This is a recent pickup, just got that, and I absolutely love this. This is fantastic. I watched the Blu-ray recently from the 6-movie pack, and then this HD DVD, and this to me blows it out of the water. I had it up on the projector the other night, and overall, this is the better copy than the Blu-ray, and I know it was re-released on Blu-ray. On another edition was the Mind-Bending edition or something like that. It was re-released, and I think it's supposed to be definitely improved picture quality, but overall, this blows away any of the regular Blu-rays that I've seen. And aside from the LaserDisc, this is my second favorite version of the movie, so I'm very happy I was able to grab that. But yeah, Total Recall, that is my collection for Total Recall. I have it on almost every format that I have that it was on, and I just really love this movie. I will never get tired of it, and it's just such a fantastic sci-fi movie. It's fun, it's exciting, it's funny, it's thought-provoking. I mean, it's everything that I could want from that type of movie, and it's amazing. I love it. We also have the Steelbook Blu-ray of the remake with Colin Farrell and Kate Beckinsale, and it's okay. It's definitely very, very different. It is its own thing. I think they played it smart, though, and not trying to be the Arnold Schwarzenegger Total Recall, because there's no way they could have done it. I think, though, it has a little too much of an attempt at being a little more Blade Runner-esque in its styling, and it doesn't really hold a candle to the original, but it is an interesting movie in its own right. But yeah, so it's a decent fun remake. It's something different, but the original Total Recall is, for me, the ultimate Arnold Schwarzenegger classic. It is the Arnold movie that is my favorite, and I'd love to hear what are your favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Terminator movies, T2 is probably the most popular overall. Some of his comedies, things like Twins, Junior, is that your favorite? Who knows? Conan the Barbarian. I'd love to hear below, what is your favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? And I have another thing that I'd like to ask my audience, especially if you've been watching and enjoying a lot of these collection and pickup videos, as a lot of collections of things are kind of wrapping up and meeting a lot of collection goals. Eventually I'm getting to the point where actors like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Marilyn Monroe, Peter Sellers, a lot of these ones that I have really big collections for are kind of winding down to where I'm almost finished with them. And I'm going to end up doing some longer videos looking at complete collections for some of my favorite actors. I'm very excited to get into doing some of those later this year, next year, whenever that happens. But I'd like to ask your opinion on how you would like to see that. How would you like it to be presented? Because some of these actors, you see here with Total Recall, I have it on VHS, LaserDisc, DVD, HD DVD, Blu-ray, multiple versions. And a lot of these actor collections, a lot of their movies are like that. I have different variations, different releases of the movies over the many years I've been watching and collecting them on so many different formats. I haven't quite decided how I want to present those actor ones yet, so I'd like to ask, would you rather see it by movie? Would you rather see, Breakfast at Tiffany's, for Audrey Hepburn, and then move on to any other movie, Sabrina, whatever, or would you rather have it be more like format? Would you have, for Arnold, would you rather see, Terminator, Total Recall, and all that stuff on VHS, then move on to, say, LaserDisc, and then DVD, and then Blu-ray, HD DVD, whatever, UMD would have you. So I also would like to ask my audience below, if you have a preference, what would you rather see? Me go by movie, do all my copies of Total Recall, then all my copies of Twins, all my copies of Terminator 2, or would you rather see it go by format? Would you rather see, with Peter Sellers, my Pink Panther VHS collection, then Betamax, and whatever. So I'm very curious to see what more people prefer, because I'm quite undecided how I want to go about it. Eventually, I want to get to that point. So yeah, would you prefer these big actor collections to be by movie or by format? And I will see you guys next time, and look forward to more of this kind of content as the year goes along, as a lot of collecting goals are being excitingly knocked down.